I think it doesn't actually depend. I think there's if you go through a computer science program, that's a first. There are other ways. We've hired personally at Originate. We've hired people who've gone through a programming boot camp, so to speak. But that doesn't say that you shouldn't have your computer science fundamentals down. Be it being proficient in one stack at least to be able to solve these programming questions, knowing data structures, algorithms. These are the things that we in the industry use to just, because it's common knowledge, we use that to see how you think through complex problems. It's not, for me, like the part that seems intimidating, which is, oh, I have to know about binary search trees or like these things, and then I forget about it. That's not the way I like to interview. The way I like to be interviewed. I like to be interviewed in a way that's close to what the job's really like. But that isn't to say that's always going to be the case. And so, going into an interview for, big or small company, they do use these things that I don't actually use every day to day in my job. These data structures, linked lists, etc. Recursion. The skills for the person on the job once they've landed it is, for entry level, basically it's do you know when you're stuck and how and ask for help. I think the worst thing that someone who's entry level can do is say, you know what, I can figure this out, I don't need help, and they just sit there and twiddle their thumbs stuck on something for days, which costs the company money, and they have too much pride to ask for help. So like knowing how to follow patterns that already exist base is also really important. And then also like knowing when to ask for help, and also knowing how to I think it would be those two things. I think when you study computer science, you don't always learn, if you do learn the language that you go into in your first job, that's great. Sometimes that isn't always the case. For me, like, I started in 2014 and my first project was in Ruby on Rails, and that's not something I ever learned in computer science. So there is some time, like basically some time required. Are you able to actually go through documentation and follow instructions and learn those things with not too much supervision? So it's a few things, knowing how to communicate your progress in a straightforward manner is also important, because in the tech industry, we typically have daily stand-ups where we talk about our progress each day. So having the business acumen to do that, or the ability to do that in a succinct manner, is also really useful. So I always feel like people in tech don't really talk about like the critical, like how critical communication skills are, but it definitely is also very critical, even at the entry level stage. Yeah.